Madam Speaker. There's just, much has been said today about this bill, and it deeply concerns me about the level of debt that this government is taking, not the province, but taking Albertans into. And I think that's something of significance for people across this province. And sadly, for those that aren't even born yet, which is a big concern for me. I've looked at some of the numbers on this, and if we hit somewhere in the neighborhood of a $58 billion debt by 2019, as these numbers indicate, that would actually reflect over $13,000 per man, woman, and child at that date, projected population of about 4.4 million people. With the average household size of 2.6 people, that would be $34,000 per average household in Alberta. $34,000
per household?
Per average size household in this province. So let's take these numbers into perspective here, that a household is now going to take, without their explicit approval, $34,000 of additional debt on, when some of them are having trouble servicing their mortgages, making their car payments, putting their kids into hockey, having some money saved for the kids' education, and God forbid, saving for their own retirements.
No way.
Deeply concerning, Madam Speaker. That's not even taking into account, and this is perhaps maybe another sad thing, the federal debt is currently at $36,000 per Canadian, not per household. On the current numbers, again, 2.6 people per household, that's $93,600 of debt, federal debt. So add that to this provincial debt that we're going to take on. That is $127,600 per Alberta household, Madam Speaker. I would suggest that that's more than any responsible individual would take on, and this government is doing it on behalf of those individuals and households. I've done a little bit of math here as well, for interest, because sometimes we need to show the numbers to the people that we're doing and making these actions for.
What do the numbers say?
I'll tell you what the numbers are. Let's look at the households first. Maybe that's an easy way to look at it. $34,000 by the end of 2019. Let's take an average interest rate of about 6%, just to be fair. Could be lower, could be higher. Even if we say to Albertans, you know what, we're not in a hurry here, but we have a plan. We have a plan. 30 years. We're going to give you 30 years to pay this back because we're going to be fair to you. We're going to let you pay this off. We know that we want to make sure we have a plan, because it's not our plan. It's actually your plan as Albertans. Your plan, because we've borrowed irresponsibly on your behalf.
Yeah.
Madam Speaker, that monthly payment for 30 years would be $203.85.
Wow.
Or if you want to annualize that, just to make it even a little bit more impactful for the average household who are struggling to save for their child's education, their own retirement, and maybe to pay down their own debt, their own mortgage, any other personal debt they may have. And sadly, during this economy, we're going to see more of that, and sadly more bankruptcies to come. $2,446.20 per year for 30 years.
Per family?
Per family.
Wow.
The total amount we're going to have to pay back on that $34,000 total payments, over $73,000. Double what we've borrowed, Madam Speaker.
Shameful.
And that's a sad reflection, of course, on that being during this time period of this increased debt. Guess what's going to happen to our credit rating in this province? We've already seen it downgraded. What are we going to end up? We're going to end up in a C-. C- isn't good enough for this province, Madam Speaker. You want to look at some individual numbers? In 2019, so people that aren't even born yet, Madam Speaker, aren't even born yet. I'm going to be a little bit more fair here. $13,181 per each one of those 4.4 million Albertans. Be generous. 5%. I said 6% for the household because that's over a longer period of time. An interest rate of 5%. Let's hope that we're lucky enough to enjoy such low rates in the years ahead, but I would suggest that in my lifetime the average is probably more around 8%. So $13,181, 5%, 25-year amortization period on that. We'll try and pay it off a little bit faster here. We'll accelerate things. Certainly we would want to overburden individual Albertans as much as somebody not even born yet, Madam Speaker, after 2019 is going to have a monthly payment of $77.05. That's great, isn't it? That could go towards educational savings. That could go towards, gosh, if you started the day you were born and your parents put away $77.05 for you, you'd have a lot of money for that education, Madam Speaker. You'd have a lot of money for your retirement way down the road. Nobody's ever thinking about that at that time. They're thinking about their education. They're thinking about the hockey games. They're thinking about the hockey equipment. They're thinking about the dance lessons, Madam Speaker. They're thinking about living a good life. That's $924.60 per year, per individual. It's a lot of money, Madam Speaker, and it's irresponsible for us to spend that without their permission. They're not even born yet, Madam Speaker. Total interest, total payments on that, we're going to pay about $10,000 interest on that over those 25 years. And a total payment on $13,000 is going to be over $23,000. Madam Speaker, I would suggest that these are irresponsible moves for us to take in this chamber on behalf of Albertans. It's just not good enough, Madam Speaker. I agree with what's been said here earlier. There's many people say there's many arguments for us to invest in infrastructure. We know that. Health, education, infrastructure, creating some jobs in the short term, but not on the backs of Albertans, not only of today, but in the future, who will have no choice and no say in this. And Madam Speaker, I'm concerned that those individuals, those new Albertans, those young Albertans, will turn around when most of this House is at retirement and tell us, I'm sorry, we have no money for you seniors. We have no money for youth to educate them. We have no money to ensure the health and well-being of Albertans because you spent that on our behalf without our permission 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Deeply concerning, Madam Speaker. These numbers are, I consider myself a pretty anal Virgo. I've had to look at these numbers, Madam Speaker, because to me, these numbers count. These numbers are the future of Albertans.
That's right.
The future debt of Albertans. And we're making these moves in this House, and I would submit again, irresponsibly, on their behalf, without their express permission. And I recognize, I believe, and I have to believe that these are well-intentioned, that the esteemed members on the other side are doing this because they believe it is the right thing to do. But I think they need to look into their hearts and their souls and be honest with Albertans what these numbers mean for us going forward into the future, and how those children that are not born yet today are going to feel in 25 years when some of the members here, not all, will be approaching retirement age, and wonder themselves, is this responsible for me to do on their behalf? And what's it going to mean to me in the future when I need the support of future generations? Madam Speaker, this bill deeply concerns me. I will not be supporting it, and I'm very saddened by the implications of it. Thank you.
Hear, hear.